do and stream. No. All right.
Hold on. Let's take 2 seconds so that I can for the future I can just cut this off. Let's stare at the camera for 5 seconds. All right, Star Wars Hour.
Star Wars Hour.
Our Star Wars The Last Jedi predictions.
Theme of the day is tomorrow.
Yes. So what's going to happen is we have 5 questions that, they've been on everybody's mind. And certainly they've been on our minds. And the way that this is going to work is Derek and I are going to go through all of these, and we're either going to answer yes or no.
Correct.
And these are all about The Last Jedi. So whoever gets the most right, because we're going to find out when we see the movie tomorrow.
Yep.
We're going to find out who got the most of these questions correctly.
It's going to be me.
And whoever got the most of these questions correct owes the other guy a beer.
Yep.
But we probably get each other beer anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it's just for fun. Okay,
Yes.
So question number 1 about The Last Jedi. These are all about The Last Jedi. First question. In this movie, Derek, will we learn about Rey's parents, yes or no?
They told us yes.
They said yes.
They literally said yes. No,
They were like,
actually,
"Well,
they
yeah,
said you'd
but-"
learn about a satisfying origin story.
Yeah, they said eventually.
Which,
They never...
are you gonna do the midichlorian count as parents? Because if she's just born of the Force, I'm gonna owe your ass a beer.
I know. I think that if we learn about midichlorians, that's parents. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. It's an origin.
Okay.
You know.
So will we learn about Rey's origin story?
Yes.
100% yes.
You're saying yes.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I will just bet you a beer on that one alone.
Okay. Cool.
That absolutely.
I'm
yes.
actually gonna say no. I think that they're
You
gonna.
think?
I think they're saving that for episode 9 because I feel like Rian Johnson, he's just getting through so much in this, and we'll see. We'll see.
Well,
we'll go into details about each of these at the end. We'll just quickly go through
Fair.
yes or no.
Fair.
Okay. So question number 2.
Mine.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I want to ask you a question.
Oh, fine. Yeah. Okay.
Will we see Force Ghosts?
Force Ghosts. Okay.
Force Ghost Yoda.
Yeah, because we didn't see any Force Ghosts in the Force Awakens, but then again, we didn't really see any real Jedi's to.
Well, we heard the voice.
We heard the
We
voices.
heard the voice.
Yeah.
So that means that's still a thing.
Okay, but like I mean, like the apparition of like Obi-Wan or Yoda. You know.
Do you think we'll see it?
Will we? I think yes. I think we will see Force Ghosts because now we have Luke Skywalker. There's no excuses now why we shouldn't be seeing Force Ghosts in this movie. Like Luke, even if they're like, well, only Luke Skywalker, because some people are like, I think they're going to use the excuse that only Luke can see Force Ghosts or something. So even if that's true, Luke is a main character in this movie. We best see some Yoda in this movie.
I think the only way I would agree is that Luke will be a Force Ghost at the end of the movie.
Well, we'll get to
We'll
that
save
in
that.
a second.
So I'm gonna go with no.
So you're saying no? I'm saying yes.
I'm gonna go with no, and not just to be counterpointative. I truly think no.
All right. So the next question is: will Kylo Ren go to the light side by the end of this movie?
Yes, and I'll save the rest for later.
Oh yeah. You know what? I also think yes on
Okay.
this.
Then we will just have a big old yes party now, won't we, Rich?
Yes. I guess you go ahead and ask
right.
the next one.
Number 4, will Rey go to the dark side?
I'm gonna say yes on this one too.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with she won't go. So the answer's no.
The answer's no. Then.
Yes.
All right. And then question number 5. Will Luke die by the end of this movie?
Yes.
Yes. And I am also going to say yes.
Absolutely. And then my question to you, which is a wild card. 6 is a wild card, so we each get to ask one of each other.
That's right.
And this is only your answer. I'm not going to tell you what I think till later.
Okay.
Will Kylo die?
Will Kylo die?
Yes.
No. You could put down that I said no.
Okay.
All right. And then here's my question for you. Is Kylo Ren actually Luke's son?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So I'm going to say D said no.
Yes. D said no.
No! All right, and now that we've gotten all these questions out of the way, now let's have some cognitive reasoning behind some of them. All right, so the thing is, I think we basically already said what we need to say about Force Ghosts, but yeah, going into more detail about Rey's parents, I know that last week we were all about, talking about Rey's parents, and, the closer we get, the more I think that, the whole Battlefront thing was just kind of a way to throw us off, like, there's just no way that they put her parents in the in the the freaking video game. You know what I mean? And if they did it, it would, like we said, it would be like Enter the Matrix. It would be very disappointing. So I
agree with that. I agree with that. But they literally said you're gonna have a satisfying explanation to Rey's origin.
They did say that there would be a satisfying explanation by the end of the trilogy. They never said it was going to be in episode 8. However,
that's a good point. But there's no way. Which I'll say. Can I bring this up? Can I bring this up now?
Almost.
Because there's no way. Some critics.
Are you Fox News now?
I am.
Some say.
Some people say. Sources say. We're gonna find out. No. So there's no way you get that high of a rating without covering all your bases. Unless they just total twist on us and it's just a good story anyways.
I would agree with you. I would hope that it's good because it kind of covers everything that people expect.
Yeah.
However, I've heard some people say
sources
that
say.
It's just Rian Johnson, and maybe this is the reason why they ended up giving him just his own original trilogy to work with instead of doing episode 9, because his stuff is so original, it's very unique, and it's really good, but maybe it's not exactly where we want our conclusions to go.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Again, we haven't seen the movie yet, but that's what these predictions are for.
Yes.
So I would say it's kind of 50-50. I'm actually okay if they hold off on her origins till episode 9, unless it feels so impertinent to this movie that I'm like, oh no, we gotta know.
I think you'll have to figure it out. I think that's gonna be Luke's role in this movie. Luke's role in the movie is already to train Rey. One of her big issues is not knowing who her family is.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something that has to be revealed, and it's not going to be pleasant. Whatever the answer is, she's not going to like it, obviously, because it's a hero's journey.
The interesting thing is, Daisy Ridley herself even says that she thought that her parentage was pretty obvious in The Force Awakens, which is really weird because you watch that movie and nowhere is it obvious, Maybe it was obvious to her because there was something in the original script or something.
Yeah, that she was like, of course, I read the whole thing.
But she didn't know what was deleted or taken out or whatever. But I did recently, like just yesterday, rewatch The Force Awakens, and it's like there's the moment where she's like, oh, my parents, they're going to come back for me, and Maz Kanata's like, no, that's the past. They are never coming back. I feel like it's possible that like everybody's just putting all this like hoopla on theories, and that Rey's parents again are just normal mom, pa, Rey, and maybe Rey knows actually like very well who her parents are. It's just us who don't know who her parents are. But maybe she does know who her parents are. You know what?
Because the way she said it, they will come back for me. Yeah. But it's the whole orphan thing. See, that's hard. I think the only.
I know. I was like, wow. But you can't read my notes.
No. Oh, look, we turned red. We have color in my face. The thing that's most interesting to me about Rey's origin story is that mystery that I don't know where I came from. I don't know where I'm going, and there's no way they're not going to ruin that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Again, going back to Force Ghosts, I just think that Force Ghosts were such an important part of the original Star Wars trilogy. 4, 5, and 6.
I think they played
Obi-Wan, throughout the entire trilogy, and then the end we see Anakin, Yoda, and Obi-Wan. And again, they could say maybe Luke is the only, because apparently, according to episode 3, where he says, how to commune with it, apparently it's something you have to be taught how to do, and maybe because Luke is the son of Anakin, he's just, at one with the Force so much that he can just natively see the Force ghosts.
Yes.
But it seems like it's something you have to be taught how to do, because in the prequel trilogy, we don't see any Force ghosts either,
we don't.
Because it's assumed, especially by the thing that Yoda says, that they don't know how to do that yet. It's something that Jedi have to learn how to do, And like Qui-Gon through the Nether realm or whatever figures out how to do it, and he appears, and I guess we'll see that in the Kenobi Solo movie as Ghost Qui-Gon.
But why
can't Rey see Force ghosts?
No, why can't Kylo, who was basically raised, is that a light side only thing? I would argue not.
I don't know. I think I would like a Force ghost Anakin to come down, slap Kylo in the face, and be like, "You're wrong,"
This isn't what this was about.
And it's like what sucks is the only reason why I can think of that he's not doing that is because plot convenience. It would just end, Kylo's whole thing. You know what I mean? So, but they have not given us a fantastic answer for why we don't see Force ghosts. And I'm hoping we will see Force ghosts, but I'm really afraid that it's going to be like, oh, the Force has left this world, and the Force ghosts are gone, or they'll make up some BS so that they don't have to do it.
I think they're just not going to bring it up because they don't want to camp off of like the original series. That's what they're starting to try to move away from, and they had their shot to bring that in as a portion in episode 7.
I just love again the critics like 90% people have not seen this movie yet. Only critics have seen The Last Jedi. 99% of them say it's the greatest Star Wars movie ever, if not at least on par with Empire Strikes Back. There's that 1% that's like, well,
it's the 1%. It's always the 1%.
and I think that some of them might have been bitter about things that are missing that we want. I have no idea. They have obviously not said explicitly why they didn't like it, but there is that 1%. But again, it's 1%. I know that people ended up like loving the Force Awakens, and then 2 weeks later they're like, well, wait a minute, that was too close to
the original.
So this one is supposed to be so different, and I guarantee you that there's going to be people who are like, well, this is too different, it doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie. So it's like, what do you guys want? You want it to be too close or not enough? And it's like, again, it just proves that like Star Wars fans will never be satisfied.
Correct.
I know how hard it is to satisfy decades or more worth of fans.
Yes.
Just based on my own stuff. Anyways, so let's move on for Force Ghosts. Okay, so I think that the last 3 questions that we asked, Kylo going to the light side, Rey going to the dark side, and Luke dying, are all connected to me.
Agreed.
Here's what I think is going to happen, or at least here's what I would love to happen. I think that, and again, this may not happen, I would say that if Carrie Fisher hadn't died in real life, then it was going to be 100% certain, I would be 100% certain that Luke would absolutely die in this movie. The only reason why I think he might not die in this movie is because Carrie died in real life, and since she's not going to be in episode 9, Mark Hamill's really like the only actor who could be the actor, or like an original character in episode 9, unless they bring Lando back.
He needs to come back, which actually is probably his only shot at getting back in the series.
It's like, well, everyone else is gone.
So. Everybody's dying, so hi.
But, then a lot of people have also said that, like, Rian Johnson didn't let anything in real life affect the best story possible. So, who knows? Anyways, here's what I think I would want to happen. I think that what's going to happen is by the end of the movie, Luke is going to die, and that, among other things, is going to trigger Kylo to be like, oh, you know what? I've actually been doing the wrong thing this whole time. And he's going to find himself, he has not been treated well by Snoke, and he's going to find it in his heart to turn back to the good side. At the same time, Rey is confused, and when she sees Luke embracing Kylo, that's what's going to turn her to the dark side. Because remember, there's the one thing that Disney can't break and the Lucasfilm can't break is that Lucas, said explicitly, even if you don't use any of my ideas, Star Wars, at least the episodes, are about the Skywalker family and about the Skywalker lineage. Rey is pretty certain at this point Rey's not a Skywalker. But Kylo is technically, because he's Luke's son, or he is Leia's son. Again, I'll get to my thing in a second here. So he's Leia's son, right? And Leia is technically a Skywalker too. So it doesn't matter if he's Leia's son or Luke's son. He's a Skywalker either way. So what's going to happen is he's going to come to the light side and he's going to be like, well, I can't be Ben Solo again because I killed my father. He was Han Solo. I'm too ashamed to use the Solo name. So I'll use the Skywalker name, and he will really be Ben Skywalker by the end of this trilogy. And he's going to be the Skywalker that leads us into, the next story or whatever. And Rey is going to end up being the bad guy. If that doesn't happen, then I will be upset because she's not Skywalker. It's supposed to be about Skywalker.
There's no way that's going to happen.
It's got to.
When did he say that?
That has always been the thing, is that Star Wars...
But he doesn't own it anymore.
Okay, you're right. He doesn't own it anymore, but if they want to make fans happy, they've got to keep... The saga has to be about Skywalker.
See, I would argue that we're at a point where they have
away.
They have so many new fans that the only people that are going to piss off are the fanboys from the originals, which I get, because that would be really cool if that happened. But I don't see that being something that they can carry for another...
Brought to you by Dr. Pepper.
Not actually brought to you by Dr. Pepper. I just don't see that being something that can continue over another trilogy and then 3 more. Like, it's going to get to the point where you'll be so pulled away from what the original Skywalker family was about that you might as well jump that train now. So for mine, I think we both agree Kylo Ren will go to the light side. I think Rey will fight with the issues of going to the dark side, but I do not think she will I do not think she will have or do anything overtly that is dark side.
So then they'll team up and kill Snoke together.
Yes,
but then who's the bad guy in Episode 9 then?
That's going to be something else that's going to be revealed in this movie.
Okay.
When Luke Skywalker will die, that's bound to happen, not only because Mark Hamill's not really super thrilled about doing this press tour, which you've been able to see and he's commented on a few times, because he's not coming back. It's the Last Jedi. There's no way they would put that. What they're going to talk about and what I think they're going to reveal and what they're going to show is, or what they're going to create out of this, is Ren will become that gray Jedi. She will become that light and dark. She's going to be the balance of the Force.
Yeah.
Now, where Kylo fits in with all this, because still technically, if you're following all the original canon, you're still sitting on both sides. Now there's a gray and a light side if he flips over. Now, I think that's where you have room for a new dark side to form. And so I think it'll be somebody entirely new will be introduced in this movie.
Okay. Those are fair points. And yours is more likely for sure, But I just would really like to see, so when you start Episode 1 and you're like, all right, I'm gonna watch all 20 Star Wars movies, however many they make by the time I actually have kids to show Star Wars movie to. Like, here is Anakin Skywalker, and by the time you get to Episode 26, it's his great grandson.
Yes.
That's what I want.
That would
we'll
be
see.
cool. But I don't think they can do that. They already led pretty well with the having to kill your own father thing with Kylo killing Han and all that stuff. So
yeah, we'll see. So let's talk about our I'll let you go first.
No, I want you to counter my discussion about Kylo not dying. Him coming to the light allows this new character to come in and fill that dark void while Rey sits there in this gray Jedi form. Why do you agree Kylo's not going to die?
Well, again, if Kylo actually dies, then that means that the last that basically would
mean
okay. See,
Rey.
So we are talking about we are talking about Kylo Ren dying, right?
Yes.
Okay. So again, if Kylo Ren dies in this movie, and Carrie Fisher's dead in real life, meaning that her character's probably going to die in this movie or the next one off screen.
Yeah.
Luke will probably die in this movie or the next one. That means that if Kylo Ren dies, that literally kills off the Skywalker family forever.
Yes.
So
yes.
So I'm saying I'd like him to go to the light side to continue the Skywalker legacy. You're going the complete opposite and saying they're going to just kill him off, effectively ending forever the Skywalker branch.
Yes, I think they're probably going to be done.
That's too extreme. Then, at least make him evil forever.
I think he's going to go to the light side, and he will either end up dying or staying in this neutral kind of light side zone where a new dark side advocate can come in and take over that we didn't know about. Because I doubt Snoke has been sitting there not planning his succession. That's what he thought was going to happen with Kylo. So there's going to be a backup plan. You don't have the Emperor and stuff like that. Those masterminds of an evil empire not thinking of what happens when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah. If Kylo Ren does die and Luke dies, then I would expect in Episode 9 for Luke to have some kind of secret son that he never told anyone about. It's gonna happen.
But don't you think they're just gonna flip into this Rey story? Because Rey's parents have to be some level of Force user, or she's just created from the Force. She's just part of the Force, right?
I mean, I don't know. We don't know. And like I say, as of right this minute, I have nothing against Rey. I think she's actually a pretty cool character. I'm not like some of those people oh, she's just a Mary Sue, blah, blah, blah. No, I think that she's a cool character and everything. But in the event that Kylo and Luke are both dead and she becomes the sole carrier of the good of the Force, that's when I start to have a huge problem. I'm like, you know what? I don't care for this character anymore.
Yeah.
And I know it's weird to say, but it just be she's just it would start to feel so empty to me if you cut off all ties to Skywalker. And maybe just because I feel like, especially those first 6 movies, it was it just was so evolved around the Skywalkers. It'd be weird. I guess I get used to it. Of course, it's Star Wars. I'm gonna watch it either way.
Yes.
But it would be a little weird. So I don't know. I don't think and for all of those reasons, I don't think that they can kill Kylo Ren off. I don't think he's gonna die in this movie.
Right on.
And that was your question 6.
Side note: shout out to Jax for being on her fucking game.
Oh yeah.
Are these spoilers or predictions? Banned. Just fucking banned. I love it. Okay, good work, Jax. I appreciate you. I owe you a beer.
All right, so my question to you was, is Kylo Luke's son? And you said a resounding no.
Because the Skywalker lineage is dead.
Okay, clearly
I
you want it to all go away.
I don't think it has to all go away. Well, maybe Kylo will be that last connection that carries it one more movie before they set up something else that's a little better and can take it forward. As much as I think they will kill off the Skywalker one in this one, I could see them not doing it as well, because this is kind of another transition movie. All these are transition movies because we're still seeing this progression of new characters being introduced, new main characters being introduced that have almost no direct connection to old characters. And the way they're introduced is abrupt and sudden, and it's life-changing. Finn, abrupt. Oh man, I've been brainwashed all this time. I don't feel like this is right. I gotta help Poe out, right? You have this abrupt Rey, I can use the Force. I've been wandering my whole life. It's these abrupt changes. So you're gonna have more of that in this next movie, but I don't think they can take it all the way. So I would agree that maybe Kylo won't die. Maybe Kylo won't die. But there's no way he's Luke's son.
Well, hear me out. There's two things. The first thing is that Luke and Leia's mom, Padme Amidala, died at childbirth for whatever the hell reason, right?
So we have all the technology in the universe that's just gonna fall asleep now.
But because they have that now, what a way to just kind of be like, you know what? We don't really know why that happened.
Yeah.
Other than like when Leia was trying to have kids with Han, she'd be like, you know, they never figured out why my mother died in childbirth. If I have kids, I might die, because even though Padme was completely healthy, nothing wrong with her, she still died. And I know that a lot of like legend theories and other theories, and there might even be a canon one now about like, oh, Palpatine using the Force to siphon her life or whatever. None of that matters, because in the movie she just dies for no reason. So they could easily say, because that tends to be the fun thing they do at Disney now, is just kind of like making up new canon. They could just say that Leia was so scared that she might die in childbirth because her mother died at childbirth for no reason, that she just couldn't have kids even though she wanted kids. So Luke had a kid with some mystery woman, and then gave them his son.
But then why did they give him back? They gave him back to Luke to train?
So because she never told Han, maybe she never told Han that it wasn't really their kid.
How is he not going to know?
Hear me out. So maybe they never told Han. Maybe he did know. Who knows? But the point is, they raised Kylo until he's like 10 or something. And when he started to show signs of, he's too strong, maybe he showed some like, Harry Potterisms, you're making snake glass disappear, whatever, Like, well, we better give him over to Uncle Luke because we don't know how to handle this thing. And Luke, who maybe gave Kylo special treatment because he knew it was his son, didn't know how to discipline him correctly, yada, yada, yada. Maybe that's how Kylo kind of got out of hand, more so than he would have already. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make 100% sense, because so many things in Star Wars don't make 100% sense.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Except for the fact that it would just be an interesting twist if, instead of like Empire Strikes Back, where the good guy learns that the evil guy is his father, that now Kylo is learning that the good guy Luke is his father, and it's a kind of a role reversal where now Kylo finds himself being called to the light side, if you will, because I mean, again, we were pretty sure that Luke's dad was just some Hey Joe moisture farmer before Darth Vader was like, I am your father. So it could happen, guys. It could happen. It's a stretch, but it could happen. I just so badly, if he's not Luke's son, I just so badly want him to go to the light side and just rename himself Ben Skywalker. Make it happen. Come on, guys. All right. And with that, I think we'll move on from the predictions.
From the predictions, that's pretty good. We got halfway through.
All right.
Good work.
So do you want to go into Lando, Carrie Fisher, or do you want to go into the reviews?
You know what? I think let's hit Lando real quick.
Okay.
We're not going to spend a shit ton of time on it, but as everybody knows, Lando was not included in this one because there's just no more room. It's just so many characters. I don't want to have to explain another one. That was the excuse.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous.
Derek, you did a fantastic job of doing exactly the Bob Iger, Kathleen Kennedy, Ryan Johnson, JJ explanation. So, because they're like just on Jimmy Kimmel the other day, they're like, hey, Rian Johnson, so what about Lando? Oh, gosh, I love that character. And he was surrounded by the entire cast. He's like, but look at all these other characters. Look at all these wonderful new characters. And like, nobody says the thing. It's like, I'm thinking like...
He must have done something to piss somebody off.
Yeah. Like, Billy D. Williams, the actor who plays Lando, must have done something to piss off Kathleen Kennedy or Lucasfilm, or did something over the years that they're trying to keep quiet or something.
I don't know this, but did he voice his own character in Battlefront?
It sounds an awful like him.
It sounds exactly like him.
But, that would have been up to EA. Maybe he hasn't done anything to piss off EA or whatever, but maybe that's fine. But, it's really weird. And trust me, there was room for Lando. Laura Dern plays a character called Admiral Haldo in this movie. Vice Admiral Haldo.
Lando, Haldo, seriously? You're not just going to bring him in?
I mean, I feel like, that could have been filled in by anyone could have been the Vice Admiral. I'm thinking, why couldn't Lando, at this point, would be a Vice Admiral at least? Why wasn't this Lando?
Yeah.
Why did we have to come up with a brand new character to be the Admiral, there's 3 or 4 other new characters in this movie. You didn't have to make new characters before you included Lando. You know what I mean? I feel like including Lando would have been the priority. So I think there's definitely something behind the scenes. When they made episode 7, they're like, oh yeah, well, maybe we'll include him in episode 8. And then episode 8, they're like, well, maybe we'll include him in episode 9. But I swear to God, if Lando's not in episode 9, then
Billy D. Williams, right? Mm-hmm. He voiced himself
in Battlefront. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought
it sounded exactly like him. Sorry.
Yeah, so he voiced his own character in Battlefront, but that's not good enough,
I know, but that's
separate. EA is
they can cast and do their own thing.
Yeah, they are up to.
They're just given the license and they can run with it. But I don't know why they didn't bring him back. So we'll see. Maybe he'll make it into 9. Maybe they'll kill off everybody I said.
Jackie said maybe they didn't like him calling C-3PO 3CPO. There's this old interview from 1983 where they're like, oh, so you're with that gold droid. Is it C-3PO? He's yeah, 3CPO, 3CPO. It just, Billy.
He's doing a press tour. Come on, those things are exhausting.
Yeah, those junkets last all day.
I know.
You got to do like a dozen of them.
All right,
so, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so we do that, right? Let's talk about let's talk about the biggest one, which is Carrie's death and reshoots.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher died in December of 2016, a whole year ago.
Yes.
And it was before reshoots happened. Technically, all of her principal photography was completed, so that's what they use in the movie. However, as you guys know, every major movie has at least a couple of weeks to, after they've looked at all the footage, be like, well, maybe we should do this differently. They didn't have that opportunity with Carrie Fisher because she was dead. So, they have said that they maybe had to work around some stuff and change some stuff, especially since she's definitely not going to be in episode 9. They had to kind of tune some stuff. So I think it's pretty obvious to me, because I would really hate for her to just be like, they're just like, oh, there she goes in the sunset, and we'll never see her.
They're gonna Fast and Furious 7 her.
Her character has to die in this movie. There's no way.
Yeah,
right?
because they're not gonna have her jump into a TIE fighder and pull up next to Luke Skywalker, and then just have her pull up pull up in a.
I really don't think that there's much
Z95.
I don't think there's much diversion in that trailer either. I think it is possible that Kylo kills her when she's in her ship, and you see that moment in the trailer where he's about to fire on her.
Yeah, that did not look like 2 separate scenes.
No, it didn't. But I think that I think that it's possible that she was not intended to die in this movie, but they had a lot of great shots of her looking concerned out the window, so they just kind of mixed that.
They're just like, and explosion.
Yeah. I mean, really, you've got to, because there's almost no other way that you can do a new death scene without her actually there, other than an instant death like that, So, they'll just
and it was not expected. So I guarantee you, they do not have more film than just what's there. When you get actors that are 80, 90, they end up shooting a lot of different versions because they don't know if they're going to make it.
Unless her character was planned on dying in this movie, and they just didn't want to spoil that for us by being like, they didn't want to be like, oh, don't worry guys, it's okay because she was already going to die in this movie, so, they don't want to spoil that. So it's also possible that she was going to die in this movie, and there is something substantial there with her death scene. Who knows? But, either way, I mean, it's going to be...
I don't think it's going to affect the movie. I don't think it affected where the whole movie's going at all. I think what it's affecting is what they were writing in episode 9. I think that's where we're going to see some really unexpected changes.
Yeah, you know what? I can't help but think that she wasn't supposed to die in the movie because they fired Colin Trevorrow as the writer-director of Episode 9, and I think that's because they wanted to do kind of like a Return of the Jedi thing, have the last one be a little sillier. Colin Trevorrow was known for being a little sillier, Jurassic World and Safety Not Guaranteed, but then they were like, oh, you know what? Actually, this is going to be a little bit darker than we imagined. So
we're going to need you to...
you
can't put a fart joke on Jar Jar in here. Sorry, bud.
I do really feel bad about Colin Trevorrow, though, because not only did he dedicate a year of his life to pre-production on a movie that he will not be directing, but he also did not direct Jurassic World 2.
Don't you think they're going to bring him as a consultant on 9?
I don't know, but like it's just a shame that he passed up Jurassic World 2, a job he was guaranteed to have because he did such a great job on Jurassic World that he passed it up to do Star Wars, and now he's not doing either one. It's Hollywood, dude. It's such and it's
contracts, so I'm sure he still got paid at least a good amount.
Hey, they will. It's not like the Jurassic World 2 is going to be the last Jurassic Park movie ever made.
No. Well, especially at the rate like other people are wanting to use what's his name? Star-Lord. Sorry.
Oh, Chris Pratt. Yeah.
At the rate other people are wanting to use Chris Pratt in this new Jurassic Park movie, he keeps his mustache.
Yeah.
In the Star-Lord movie, in the Avengers, Infinity Wars.
In Infinity War, he has the mustache
for no reason other than
he was filming at the same
time. Contractually, he could not shave it, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
I think we talked about mush mouth on one of your prior ones, or was it?
Motion
mouth or cat?
Oh, because Superman in Justice League, they had to CGI his mustache out, and it just looks so. It looks so weird. I can't explain it.
Bottom of your talking like this.
Hello, guys.
Because you gotta cover this.
And you see his teeth all the time. It's really weird. I don't know.
Yep.
Not the worst problem in that movie, though.
No. Right, yeah, let's not get into that.
This is not comic talk.
So.
Oops.
Boom.
That's sure to be super loud. Sorry, guys.
So let's do this big one, and then that can lead into this over here.
Okay, yeah. So as you guys know, the actual Hollywood premiere, where the cast, the crew, and top press saw this movie on Saturday, which was whatever Saturday was. I'm trying to look at the date. I can't find it.
Yeah.
Whatever the Saturday was before this, and then on Monday, that's when a lot of theaters opened up for press, and all press saw this movie. If you have press pass, we just started Star Wars Hour, so we didn't get press passes.
No, we didn't.
But hopefully someday we will.
Fingers crossed.
Anyway, so all press has seen this, and on Saturday a lot of people tweeted out their reactions, and then when the embargo lifted on Monday for reviewers, people have given their non-spoiler reviews. I feel like a couple people have given a couple spoilerific reviews, and I mean, I think you're allowed to give spoiler reviews, but come on, wait until at least after Thursday.
Be a pal.
Yes. Obviously a big, piece of, entertainment on the internet these days is definitely, IGN. People go to IGN for not just video games anymore, for their movie reviews and everything. And just to kind of give you a glimpse of what people have thought of this movie, IGN gave The Last Jedi a 9.7 out of 10. And that's pretty good. Considering that they only give 10 out of 10s to video games with,
with loot boxes. Oh.
Yeah. But as far as IGN rating movies goes, a 9.7 out of 10, and they said it was amazing, is pretty dang good. They're saying that this movie, and like a lot of people, they're saying this movie is near perfect and probably the best Star Wars movie since at least Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back, maybe even better, which is crazy to think about, that there might be a Star Wars movie better than Empire, because I compare everything to Empire.
And I gotta chalk that up to the director. It's really they already had a lot of good actors, but the way you bring a movie together is truly just by your direction.
Yeah.
And so I am very excited to see. I'm very excited to see that.
Yeah.
It should be great.
One of the most respected Star Wars fans and reviewers in this galaxy is Christian Harloff, who a lot of you may know as the leader of Jedi Council on Collider. Jedi Council has been like a big Star Wars show since even before Collider. Before Collider was even a thing, it was on AMC, Movie Talk, and so Jedi Council's been around for a while, and everybody loves Christian Harloff. Harloff Minor is an official canon planet in Star Wars based on his name.
Yeah.
Like, Christian Harloff is kind of a big deal. He gave it a 4.5 out of 5. And for him, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
this guy, he never gives
good.
anything a perfect 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
And I think he may have given The Force Awakens somewhere in the ballpark of a 4.2. So I mean, he at least thinks
it's better than The Force Awakens.
Better than The Force Awakens. That I've seen that a lot. A lot of people say it's better. There was like 2 guys that were like, "Well, it's better than The Force Awakens. Maybe not as good as Rogue One."
Yeah.
But Rogue One was really good though.
I really like. What do you give Rogue One? Do you know?
I don't know. Couldn't find what he gave Rogue One. I'm sure he gave it something.
That was good. I really like Rogue One as a standalone. It's just oof.
There's a little bit of interesting information about this Harloff score that I learned, though. So Christian Harloff, he is one of the very few lucky people to have seen this movie on the Saturday premiere and the Monday press screening. So he's actually seen this movie twice, and he said... And again, when we do our predictions and everything at the beginning of this video, that's like really inspired by when they just did it over at Collider with Christian Harloff, and which he did that before he saw the movie. But he said the first time he saw the movie, he was actually very disappointed, and that it didn't hold up to what his expectations were. But then when he saw it again on Monday, going in with what he already knew was in the movie, he loved the movie.
Yeah.
And then he was like, okay, 4.5 out of 5. So it makes me wonder, why did he have that kind of reaction? And that's why I was saying earlier about the expectations thing.
Yes.
Just Rian Johnson is such a crazy guy. It's like, don't go into this movie with expectations. I think that so many people have built up these theories with their theory videos and their expectations and everything. Yeah, everything we've been talking about.
All dying.
That we've been building up all these expectations that we've pretty much written the movie in our heads.
Yes.
And when we see Rian Johnson's movie and it's nothing like that, we're like, whoa, what?
I'm probably gonna. Did I tell you that I'm not a crier at all? And you can ask Garrett that when he comes on Thursday or Tuesday. You guess Thursday? Thursday. And when the title scene opened for fucking episode 7, I got so teary.
Oh man,
I was so excited. So I don't know how emotionally if it's gonna stack up.
Oh,
if that makes sense, because I was so happy Star Wars was back. I'm nervous that maybe as a movie it'll be good, but I want to have that same emotional connection with it.
Yeah.
Now with the reviewers, and I think this is something we could theorize on if you want to. That tweet. Do you want me to read it?
We're gonna get to tweets in just 1 second.
Oh, okay. I thought we were adding that in. With
I had
reviews.
one more thing. I had one more thing to say
it.
about these reviews, and that's just that. Again, guys, don't go in with expectations. I'm pretty much going hey, I'm going to see a cool movie. It's about Star Wars, and that's all. Again, I know I have all these theories about this and that, but it's like when I'm watching the movie, I really have to let all that go because they might not answer any of these questions, and I feel like that's what maybe ruined it for Christian Harloff that first time is that they didn't answer any of those questions, and that's why I say don't be surprised. Maybe that's why they're bringing JJ back for the last one to answer the questions.
And it's just going to be a crazy fucking movie.
To the questions that he brought up in the first place in Force Awakens. So it's like, here's Force Awakens, and then whatever episode 9 is, those are connected. And here's episode 8, this weird middle child that is all this other crap in fluff that's really cool, but doesn't answer anything.
I don't understand this at all.
So don't be okay. So now with that, let's go to some of the Twitter posts that people tweeted out as soon as they saw Star Wars: The Last Jedi for the first time on Saturday night.
Yes, literally the screening, for reference, the screening was at 6. So this was immediately after. This is the first chance she had an opportunity to get her phone. So this is from @Terry Schwartz. There's a scene in Star Wars: The Last Jedi that I keep playing over and over in my head that is so stunning and unexpected that I don't want to forget how I felt seeing it for the first time. This movie feels unlike any Star Wars movie in all the ways I hoped.
So how would you interpret that?
Now, that's an interesting one because it's a good tweet. That's how you do a review. You say, I really like this, it felt really good, but it gives you no options on what they mean. I have a feeling it's going to be some come together moment. It's going to be an unexpected come together moment. And I don't really have a reason why based on that tweet, but other than I don't think it'll be campy. I think it will truly be oh my gosh, this is insane. There was no way. And it could be, turns out Rey is Luke's daughter, and the reason he couldn't tell is because he hasn't, Yeah, because the reason he couldn't tell is because it's been so long, and they're both such powerful Force users that he just can't recognize it. And when they meet on the Porg planet, maybe the Porgs absorb the Force. Who knows? So,
who knows?
But
right?
that's what I think. It'll be a homecoming. That will be a homecoming of sorts.
You know what I really like? Nobody's talking about this, but the casino planet in the movie, that looks really dope.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Apparently there's like horse racing, but space horses.
Space horses.
Because like there's a shot in one of the trailers of Finn riding one of these space horses. And I'm excited to see what that's all about. I think they escape on it or something. I don't know.
That would be cool.
All right.
I'm excited to see it.
I'm gonna go to the next tweet.
Yes.
I'll read it this time. Clayton Sandel of Some Press or something says. People are like, you don't know Clayton Sandel? Clayton Sandel says, guys, Rian Johnson has made the most epic, emotionally powerful Star Wars film ever, hands down. My strong advice is to be very wary of spoilers. The less you know about The Last Jedi, the better. Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Bravo, bravo.
Again, suggesting that, don't listen to spoilers, expectations. It kind of goes hand in hand with all of that, too.
Don't you think that's going to be, if you find out what the ending is, you're going to fucking hate yourself?
Probably.
Isn't that... Yeah, thank you for everybody in here who is engaging and not ruining things. That's helping a lot. The next one here was at Joshua Yell, Y-E-H-L. I'm stunned by Star Wars The Last Jedi. I gasped, I laughed, I screamed, I cried. I had the time of my life. Rian Johnson pulled it off, making it one of the best Star Wars movies ever. Now, I think we had a bit of that in The Force Awakens. But without the I cried. I would argue I gasped, I screamed, I laughed. But there wasn't that real emotional connection between Kylo and Han. So when that happened, I didn't cry. It was like, okay, he's getting old. It's to be like, I kind of felt like that was expected. Now this, I have a feeling that's going to be something traumatic. The I cried is what sticks out to me.
You know what? I do wish, like, if I could, I think some people have a lot of problems with Force Awakens. I didn't have that big a problem with Force Awakens. The one thing I could say that would have made that movie 10 times better is if we got some just 5-minute flashback showing, like a child Kylo and Han and Leia, and just like, I want to see like their relationship when everything were good to make the death scene more powerful, And I know like comics have done it now and it's I wanted it in the movie, and I think that because flashbacks had never really been done in Star Wars before, so it was kind of like, oh well, we can't really show flashbacks. But then Rogue One, of course, first thing is a flashback, and we get to see Jyn Erso as a kid, and that really made a big impact on the rest of the movie, having seen her as a kid. So I think maybe that's like lessons learned now, guys. We need flashbacks are a very important tool in cinema.
Yes.
And hey, maybe in this movie they'll be, hey, let's go back and show those things. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll have to see. Okay.
All right. So I need to get to the next tweet, don't I?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to read it?
I'll read this one. Impressed with Star Wars The Last Jedi. It makes some big, impressive, and surprising moves that I definitely did not expect. Not all of the plot stuff is exactly perfect, but the character work is once again fantastic, and it's just amazing to see Luke Skywalker back in action.
Now this is interesting. So then the thing that sticks out here, which is why I'm having a hard time coming up with what I want to say, is the plot stuff isn't exactly perfect. That's what sticks out to me, because it's the first time I've seen anything on that about the movie that isn't a spoiler, that indicates that maybe the story wasn't all there. Maybe they missed out on a few things. Maybe they don't tell Rey's origin story.
That's what I'm saying. That's what maybe, again, those
but the character work, that I knew it was going to be amazing. You have the new all-star cast that's going to become Star Wars, but I'm just concerned they're going to kill off too many people. That's what I think is going to happen. I think there's just going to be too many deaths.
Could the plot stuff not being perfect mean that Kylo is Luke's son? And that's
right. And then they're just like, burp, burp.
Oh,
so, there it is. Maybe it could be 100 of those things. It's his opinion. It's what he expected going into those expectations that you can tell him not to do.
Okay.
Oh, this is an interesting one. So at Jim Viscardi, every single shot serves a purpose, and The Last Jedi is easily the funniest Star Wars film, and that is a fantastic thing. I'm so excited for that.
You know, that's not the first time I've heard that either, which is weird because everyone was building up this movie. It's going to be the darkest, most serious Star Wars film ever made. And then everyone's coming out like, that was pretty good. That was funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's good.
So it's interesting. I hope that the humor, again, I hope the humor isn't like, I mean, it's pretty obvious by these tweets that this isn't like stupid Jar Jar humor. This is going to be some good humor in there.
I hope it's not. I hope it's not too
too funny. You hope it's not too funny. It's like Dom
Thor
DeLuise
Ragnarok, right? This is a good example. Thor Ragnarok, I really liked, but they tried so hard to get a few of those jokes in there. Where I was like, eh. The movie was still great. I love the movie, but I'm hoping they find a good balance with that.
I don't think it'll have that many jokes.
Okay.
But if I totally love Thor Ragnarok though. But I kind of agree that maybe one or two jokes went too far. If it's anything that's that or below, I'll be fine with it. You know.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, here's the Scott Mantz tweet. This is the only negative-ish review that I could find, and it's not even that bad. He says, The Last Jedi, a little too long and dragged in the middle, but great fun overall. As good as The Force Awakens, Rogue One is better, more humor than expected, great Star Wars moments, Mark Hamill's awesome, a worthy episode 8. So he's saying it's as good as The Force Awakens, but Rogue One is still better.
I think as a film, Rogue One's hard to beat. Rogue One is like Band of Brothers in space.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I love Rogue One.
It was, as far as a written movie, almost perfect. If you're going to write a war film, that's what you write.
And for me, I'm always tempted to say that Rogue One is right there below Empire for me, you know, because I loved Rogue One so much.
See, I think the only reason Empire beats it for you is because of the impact it had on your life. I think
it's 100% nostalgia.
100% nostalgia. But
we can't ever say anything's better than Empire. That would just destroy the whole thing, right? No.
I think this is something that is common with movies just nowadays, is they're all a little too long, and they all drag a little in the middle. People have the ability, and they're realizing people will sit through almost 3-hour movies and pay $15, $20 to go see them, so they're going to do it.
Yeah.
If they have the space, if a director has the space to tell more of the story, you will avoid cutting something. Because if you think it's going to help even that one person just a little bit, why not leave it? And for a lot of people, you're like, yeah, no, I already get it. I put the 2 and 2 together. I don't need another plus. I don't need that in order to get the answer 6. I figured that out. So I think that's all that's going to be. This will be probably a little bit too much exposition in the middle.
I don't know. See, like that kind of thing never bothered me though, because like I feel like if The Godfather came out for the first time today, then people would be like, it drags so much in the middle. You know what I mean? It's like, even though it really doesn't, it's just like the natural pacing of that movie, which is a great movie by the way. And I feel like that's just kind of like people expect movies these days to be so fast, you know? I don't know. The most important thing here, though, is that this is coming from Scott Mantz, and he's saying it's at least as good as The Force Awakens. You guys all have to keep in mind that Scott Mantz, Mr. Movie Mantz, he's a great reviewer. He's worked with some of the best review companies, but the man hosts a Star Trek show, and he is very much a big Trekkie. Yes. So anything he can say to, discredit Star Wars, he's going to do it. Just keep that in mind. The most negative comment coming from a Star Trek fan. All right, we'll move on. All right, what else do you want to say, buddy?
I think we can just move on. Actually, I got
a lot happens.
Yeah. Thanks, Christopher Tapley. No, I want to mention something real quick just before we take questions. So questions are incoming. Question time.
Incoming.
Incoming questions. So go ahead and shoot your questions now. If you haven't, actually, if you @ Rich Alvarez on these,
I'll see them. Yeah, go ahead and Rich Alvarez.
But if you want us to definitely answer it, even if it's stupid, super question.
Yeah, super chat. Please use super chat.
Yes.
If don't be butthurt if you didn't use super chat and you wanted us to answer something.
Yes, because I might just skip it. Okay. So I think the only thing I want to talk about, which nobody talks about, because I'm a different type of nerd. Rich likes all the expedition and the characters and all that stuff. I just want to see the new vehicles. I just want to see what new technology they've come out with in this movie. And this movie is the first time I've seen vehicles that makes sense.
Oh.
All the other ones have great features and stuff like that. The AT-AT, all that stuff, right? They all have great features, and I get it. But I think we've moved technologically as a people in real life. And so in cinema, that doesn't really hold up to the old ones, because we're like looking at that tin thing on 4 legs going, well, yeah, of course it falls down. Why are they not building things that don't fall? When I think this ATM-6 is going to be incredible. All of these world-specific, overly beefy machines, I think, are perfect for what the First Order is trying to do. I have a special liking to the V4XD ski speeder. That's the one you see in the trailer skirting over the salt flags. That is incredible. I think that as a concept is a ship is really what we would look forward to. Of course, we have the TIE Silencer, got the Dreadnought. Both of those are Force Order ships. TIE Silencer being Kylo's ship. That one we've been playing in Battlefront, which is a very fun ship. I think that one's a force to be reckoned with. And then I'm just excited to see what else comes out. There's going to be a huge list. I have a feeling it's going to change the landscape.
All right, we're getting a couple. Again, it helps if your questions are about Star Wars. I'm not going to answer things that aren't Star Wars. All right, Nintendo Man 64 asks, how much Star Wars is too much Star Wars? Well,
that's the trick question. The answer is no. It's just no.
I mean, like, I think that, like, some people are like, oh, they shouldn't release 2 Star Wars movies a year because then it'll be oversaturated, blah, blah, blah.
Are they releasing a second one next year?
They are, the next, after this, the Han Solo movie comes out in May, 6 months away, so, and I wouldn't, but of course after that, then it's like a year and a half until episode 9, and because they haven't announced when the Kenobi movie's coming out and everything.
See, because I think, I'm going to feed off this, let me know if I'm catching on. I think they can do 2 movies a year as long as they're not consecutive.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can do the episode 8, you can do the spinoff, you can do episode 9, you can do a spinoff, you can do episode 10, and you could turn those out every 6 months.
Yeah, because you're doing like 2, 3, 4 different story plots at the same time. It's fine, For me, because I want to see an Old Republic movie. I want to see a Shadows of the Empire movie. Please release at least 2 Star Wars movies a year. How much Star Wars is too much Star Wars? It's never enough Star Wars.
Until it gets getting bad. Until they just start cranking out stuff for the sake of cranking out. As long as they're telling good stories, I think
if it became really oversaturated and we were getting like a Star Wars movie every month, know that at least a few of those are going to be really good. So
that's
it's
true.
It doesn't really matter.
Well, it depends on how they handle it.
I want 12 Star Wars movies a year. I want
one for every month.
I want every month to premiere a brand new Star Wars show on Netflix. I want it all. I want good Star Wars video games not made by EA. Come on, Bethesda, get on it.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. All right. So there's no such thing as too much Star Wars, but I'm a super fan of.
So we have a.
Right under him is the guy about Snoke. Kyle Newton Kane fan. I hope I said that right. Says at Rich Chavez. Prediction. You say.
Prediction on who Snoke is. I personally want to see for myself and hope he's just new. But I'd love to see your mindset on that. We talked about that a little bit in the last one. I'm pretty sure they're not going to explain it though.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to touch on who Snoke is. It wasn't even part of our predictions, was it? No. I thought about like, oh, are we going to find out who Snoke is in this? Yeah. It's pretty obvious that I think we both agreed already. They're not going to say.
No, it'll be hinted, and something will come out later.
Yeah. Oh man, if they said anything in this movie about who Snoke is, I'd be like, whoa. But like, and also, but even when they do, I'm pretty sure he's just brand new character.
He's gonna do something like I've been here before time began, and it'll be some
they'll do one of those like Lost things, you know what I mean, where they introduce a new character and then they show flashbacks of them like listening to Jack on his first monologue like this. Like hey guys, my character was here the whole time. It'll be like that. They'll show Snoke like behind the scenes during like the the opera scene in episode 3. It's like
he's sitting there drinking.
Hear the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise. He's down there eating his popcorn.
He's sitting there having a drink at the Cantina bar. You're like, oh shit, he's been here the whole time.
Just every important scene is like, what were you doing?
Why is he in the back? He's like coaching on Luke as he's like shooting the TIE fighters.
He's got the Obi-Wan voice changer. Run, Luke, run.
Yes. Just behind a tree.
It was me.
The whole time.
I think he's just brand new character.
That's awesome.
You pick next one.
Okay. Oh, that's hard. This is a pretty good one because we never talk about this. And it's often overlooked, but it can really make a movie. The Nintendo man had a great next question. would you like to see prequel-like music in the new movies?
You know, yeah, because I mean, things like Duel of the Fates and Battle of the Heroes, those are some of the best music tracks that John Williams has made for Star Wars.
Absolutely.
You know, I would actually, yeah, if I had to pick anything, obviously, I would like to see Duel of the Fates return at a very crucial moment. You know, just
or like a callback to it.
Yeah. Like, you know, I don't know, some big lightsaber fight. Like maybe if, you know, Rey and Kylo Ren team up to fight Snoke, you know.
You know what would be sick?
What?
A cutscene where all they have is a and that's it. And then it's just like they cut it. Oh, that would feel nice. Okay, so that's good. So I think I agree. I think they have not strayed far at all from what the
It'd be so good. Sorry.
I know. Sorry. For what the soundtracks have been in the past, I think they're still kind of on par with those grand, those just larger than life level scores. And so,
playing devil's advocate, though, I mean, John Williams did write like a ton of new music for The Force Awakens that he probably wants to continue those treads. Like Rey's theme and Kylo's theme.
And he's still on it, right?
Oh yeah,
I haven't looked because that's something that's really overlooked.
He did not do Rogue One. But that's because he's busy doing, you know, John Williams, by the way, does almost every single Steven Spielberg film as well. You know, back in the 70s, it's like he would do a Lucas film, then a Spielberg film, and then Spielberg and Lucas both made Indiana Jones. Like, well, I guess I'm doing that movie.
Right?
You know?
I guess I have to.
And so, you know, he's been you know, most famous for doing Star Wars and then all the Spielberg movies. And so when there's a Star Wars movie and a Spielberg movie at the same time, it's like, but I think that they also were like, well, you know, it's Rogue One, it's a spinoff, so it's allowed to be a little different. You know, the music for Rogue One was not bad either.
It didn't stick out though.
No, it didn't have anything super memorable, but
I don't think it needed to.
No,
that wasn't something that needed to be carried. The emotion was there, carried by the actors. It didn't need a score.
But we still have Williams for episode 8,
yes.
So I can't wait to see what he's come up with this one.
Absolutely. Yep, I'm very excited. And then, all right, let's get another question here. I think, Rich, we talked on this a little bit, but just touch it while I find another question. Darth Spider 4 asks, how do you feel about J.J. Abrams coming back for episode 9?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talked about this last week at nauseum, and you know, I've talked about it in other videos. How do I feel about it? I don't know. I'm starting to feel different, maybe a little bit. At first, I was just really upset that, like, Colin Trevorrow was fired because I really wanted to see Colin Trevorrow's episode 9. And I thought, okay, well, at first I was thinking if they've fired Colin Trevorrow, and I'm still pretty sure this was the case.
Yeah.
If they fired him, they must have liked episode 8 so much that they just want Rian Johnson to stick around. But then Rian Johnson said he needed a break. And so then they gave it to J.J. Abrams, which is fine. I guess J.J. can come back and answer those questions that he brought up in the first place.
No kidding.
But then they still wanted Rian Johnson. And at first I was like, oh, so now they're just shunning Rian Johnson. No, they've given him 3 more movies to work on, his own trilogy to work on. So now that he gets his own trilogy and, you know, things are kind of moving around a little bit, I guess I'm okay with J.J. coming back. I'm just hoping that he doesn't repeat his mistake. I think he's probably learned from his mistakes and he'll make a more intricate episode 9 is what I'm hoping. So. Yeah,
I'm worried if they cater him too much that it might affect the product he ends up turning out. Because there's something about his attitude.
Yeah,
that's
there
concerning.
was a lot of arguments between him and Kathleen Kennedy and everything. That's what she said. It was so a breeze to work with Rian Johnson. They got along like siblings or something. She said, like good siblings that don't argue.
And you can have that connection. What's Kathleen Kennedy? She's the
head of Lucasfilm.
The head of Lucasfilms, right? So I think you can have that connection between somebody who's an executive and somebody who's actually turning out the product.
Yeah.
And you can have 2 different working relationships and still get the same result. And I think JJ really needs to work on his attitude.
Yeah.
It really needs to come back to, I get to do Star Wars.
Yeah, like you get to make a Star Wars
movie. Yes, they're
man.
coming to me to make a Star Wars. And I think if maybe this break lets that get back into his head, then maybe he'll turn out a better product. But I think we have a real fear of that becoming an issue.
I think that was the attitude that Rian Johnson definitely had. He's like, oh man, I love Star Wars. I just get to make this movie here. You know? So, and Kathleen Kennedy's job is to make sure that there's the continuity between all of these things in the universe and everything. Well, at least continuity between the movies. It's actually Pablo Hidalgo's job to make sure that there's continuity between comics, video games, and movies. I hate to be that guy.
He's like, I can't. There's so many things.
Yeah. But yeah, Kathleen Kennedy, she is the head of Lucasfilm, so literally every question, qualm, and concern has to go through her. The only person she ever has to answer to sometimes is Bob Iger, head of Disney.
But even then, it's probably just an explanation more than an answer.
I mean, like, they just did an interview with Bob Iger, like, before the premiere of the movie. He's like, I've already seen this movie like 10 times. I, take my kids, we'll watch it on the, he's like, he's
like, I own this fucking place.
The guy acts like so chill all the time. It must be great to be Bob Iger.
No kidding.
I'm in charge of Disney.
I run everything. Now I'm going to own Fox. You're fake news. He just starts pointing at people, literally turns them into fake news. Okay, so we got one more question. Unless somebody comes up with a real good one, we're going to call this the last question. So last call for good questions. At Rich Alvarez, do you think Snoke could be Palpatine, like using a clone body like in the Dark Empire comic, or possibly even Revan?
Just so you guys know, I love the Dark Empire stuff, the Dark Empire comic and all that jazz. I love Luke, the W, they used his severed hand from Empire to clone Luke and made all that good stuff, clones of Palpatine, all that. I love all that stuff. Don't think that fits anywhere in this new series.
I think
unfortunately,
it's probably too much. I think that's something that is better told in a comic setting.
If I was dying and I had one, if I was like the Make-A-Wish Foundation kid and I got one wish, so Richie, what do you? Please just tell Lucasfilm that to make a Shadows of the Empire movie. That's my one dying wish request. Just make a freaking Shadows of the Empire movie or Netflix show.
Yeah, Netflix. They're not gonna do it. You want to know why?
Why?
Disney owns it now, and Disney just took all their stuff off Netflix.
It's
gonna be an in-house Disney.
Yeah, but they're
service.
They're gonna make Netflix like shows on their own streaming service now.
No, but it's not gonna be good because of the people who like Netflix.
Okay, well let's just assume it's good. I want them to do it because and maybe
I'm so scared.
Dave Filoni, who of course has made Rebels and Clone Wars, maybe he should make it. Maybe I don't mind if it's CG because you need like Han and Luke and Leia in that story too, and you're obviously not gonna get them back for this. So, make a CG Shadows of the Empire. I don't care. Just make the freaking story already. I want to see Prince Caesar and the Black Sun and all that stuff. Come on.
It'll come.
Swoop Gang. Anyways.
Right.
Swoop Gang.
We've got 2 more questions because we are at our hour, my friends, and we're going to answer them quickly. It's yes or no. Ready? I'm going to ask them both to you, and then I'll answer the same. Would you like to see a rated R Star Wars film?
Yes.
And then, do you think Kylo Ren is a good villain?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. My answer is no, and then yes. I think I would personally like a rated R Star Wars.
It's not going to happen.
I think it's something that doesn't fit in the world, in their world. And the way they tell their stories, I don't think that's something that fits.
Yeah, we probably will never see a rated R Star Wars film. However, if they start making, because think about it, technically all those Marvel shows, those are produced by Disney too. The Punisher was pretty gruesome, Daredevil season 2 was pretty gruesome. If that can come out of the House of Mouse, then can a rated R Star Wars show. I don't know if they're ever going to make like a movie because kids are like, take me to the new Star Wars. But if you make it like on their
NC-17, they might do that.
If they do it like and it's on their own streaming service, it's like they have the adult code, so only adults only or whatever. They could make an adult Star Wars show for sure, but it has to be. It can't just be gory for the sake of gory. It has to be.
It doesn't. They already have a lot of that. The guy's getting cut in half.
I know there's dismemberment everywhere,
but you're just not seeing the blood going. Burp, burp, burp. And the way they solved that a long time ago was with how blaster fire works. And I'm not going to get into that science right now.
I think you might be able to justify having rated R material if it's a story about the origins of the Rule of Two, like Darth Bane and Malik and like Revan and all that stuff. You get into like more deeper, darker stuff there.
Medieval.
Gee, I still don't know if that justifies rated R though. I mean,
because rated R in America at least, across the pond, you guys do a totally different, just a totally different thing. But here, rated R. You need boobs more than once. You need the F word more than once.
That's not going to happen in Star Wars.
You can have almost any level of mutilation as long as it's telling the story and isn't like gross mutilation or gross gore. and still get a PG-13.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, like, do Twi'lek boobs count as boobs?
you know what?
Blue
No,
boobs?
no, because it's called cartoon nudity.
Oh.
It's a totally different schedule. It's ridiculous. So there's a little insight for you.
But they won't use the
No.
F word in Star Wars because it just doesn't exist in the universe, you know, as far as I know.
Nobody. Have you heard anybody be like, "Oh shit, there they go"? I don't think I ever have.
It's always like, what a bunch of bantha poop, you know? Like, just
Yes.
whatever Star Wars cursing is, you know?
Yep.
So, anyways, yeah, I guess that's a good Star Wars hour, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty solid. And Hulkarani and Cheese, you get to answer this real quick, and I'm gonna just make them happy. And this is gonna be our parting question. It was, if Kylo Ren versus the Darkness, which bad guy would win?
Darkness.
Right on. You heard it. Darkness over Kylo Ren. There you guys
That's
go.
just coming from me, though, so
Yes.
you never know.
But thank you all for coming. Thanks you all for watching today. Hopefully that made everybody happy because we sure enjoy doing it. So
All right, guys, we'll see you right here. Same Star Wars Hour time.
Boom.
Same Star Wars Hour place right here on the
Yeah.
Rich Office channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell to get notifications. We'll see you next week.
we should actually bring a physical bell next time.
Brr.